Said, I can't wait to be on YouTube. John, you remember Ray?
I do.
Yes, good.
And Diane?
Excuse my seat. Good to see you too.
And Diane Canzoni, our other councilwoman.
Hi, good to see you.
And Brian's walking in the door,
Walking
John.
in. Sorry about the way I look.
Good to see you.
Oh, I guess he doesn't care about the YouTube presentation.
Water everywhere in my house.
At your house
Oh,
again?
no,
Yeah.
again?
Twice. Today I just was getting ready to take a shower.
I gotta check.
Walked in the utility, walked in the laundry room, and the washing machine is just spewing water everywhere. There's
Oh,
water.
my heavens.
But last week,
Dear.
they went downstairs early in the morning, and the
Here's one, Nikki.
contractor had put a nail
If you
through the
want,
water
yes.
pipe, and it just rusted
Do you
out.
have any under here?
All over the family room, the foyer, the basement. Tile had to be taken up again, drywall removed.
Oh, no.
And you guys just thought you were done. Oh, Brian.
I got a good house for you, Fred. I'll give it to you a really good price.
What did I tell you?
Oh, dear. Time to
What did I
sell.
tell you?
No, it'll all be rebuilt.
Bulldoze it and build a new one.
So
Oh, my.
I'm wet.
I see that. That's unbelievable.
I couldn't, they had to call the fire department because they couldn't shut the water off the other day.
Oh, my.
They couldn't get the water to
And they
shut.
were able to shut off in the street?
Yeah, they shut it off.
Oh, what bad luck. Oh, my.
Did the dog know how to swim before all of this happened?
Okay, looks good. John's not gonna be here tonight because he had those surgeries. He said he should be here next Tuesday.
You're all wet.
We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I must have missed that, so, but we'll do it. We'll start. You ready? Everybody ready? Okay. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody to the special council meeting of Monday, March 30th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. for the village of Walton Hills. We will do the Pledge of Allegiance right now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. Okay, Nikki, you want to do roll call?
Councilman Nielsen?
Here.
Councilwoman Canzoni?
Here.
Councilwoman Allen? Here. Councilman Spitznagel?
Here.
Councilman Whedon?
Here.
All council present, along with our fiscal officer, Nicole Sell, and John Love from Love Insurance, who is our broker and we use for our casualty and liability insurance. Correct, Mr. Love? That's correct. Okay. So at this time, John, if you want to come up to the mic and kind of go over our renewal and what we have and what your recommendation.
Great. Well, I appreciate the time this evening, meeting with me, and I have, I handed out several papers. One is a summary of the insurance renewal, and the second packet is the actual renewal with all the detail. And what I thought we could do is go through the summary, and then if there's additional questions, or if you prefer to go through the actual proposal, the detail of all the additional coverages, we can do that. So this year we went to market for the insurance for the village. We went to HCC, which is a carrier that you were with prior to Travelers. We went to Liberty Mutual, and then we also went to the Ohio plan. The HCC had declined to quote because they couldn't compete. Liberty also declined. They've increased their minimum premium on municipal accounts to a point where they couldn't quote, they couldn't compete. And we went to the Ohio plan, who actually came out and did an inspection, and the inspection was positive, but they, at the last minute, last week, they said that they were going to wait till next year. They didn't want to, they wanted to see how claims, there's one claim that occurred, I believe it was last year, they wanted to see how that would develop over the next 12 months. And also there were a couple claims from previous years that have not been closed yet, and they wanted to see how those would develop, whether they would be closed down at a lower amount or possibly go up. So we thought they would quote, they chose not to. I'm confident they will next year if it continues to, the losses and the risk for the village have, overall losses have improved substantially over the last 4 years. And some of the claims, there was a few claims that occurred several years ago that were finally closed. And so that makes the account more attractive to the marketplace. But right now it's a difficult market for municipalities. So we did get a renewal. The original renewal from Travelers came in at an increase, actually a fairly substantial increase of $11,450. That was the original proposal. We were able to go back to them and negotiate it down, went to management, and they came in at a renewal pricing that they only increased based on exposure. The exposure increased in several areas. The property increased by, and I'll go through this, but I'm just giving you a hot, overview of it. The property values increased by $347,188. That was one of the main contributing factors for the increase in premium. The equipment breakdown increased by $2,600, and the inland marine, your equipment that is not within a building, increased by $86,000. So the expiring premium was $131,361, and the renewal premium is $136,368. So that's a $5,007 premium increase over expiring.
And most of that was because the property increased.
Yeah, most of it's due to the property increasing. Yeah, so there were a couple other changes. You reduced the auto fleet by 2, but there were some changes in personnel that I think there was maybe additional full-time and maybe a part-time. I know there's a slight difference there. So what I can do is, what I'd like to do is just walk through the summary and then answer any questions you have.
Yeah, because we did have one question, Ray, I think it was Ray or Brian, was it, about the inland marine?
What all that encompassed.
Yeah, what that encompassed, but we'll wait till you get there.
Okay, that's perfect. So the property, the first section is the property. EDP is electronic data processing with computers, computer equipment and data. And then equipment breakdown is the first section. And the property limit is on the renewals $17,706,675, and that is a 2% increase from the expiring. And that was mainly done just to coincide with inflation. The deductibles, nothing else has changed. The deductibles are $5,000 on the property. The earthquake deductible is $25,000. flood deductible is 25,000. And then you have, excuse me, business income and extra expense, same coverage as you had last year. And that coverage it's more of an extra expense exposure, I think, for a municipality as opposed to business income. But if, say, the building burns down and for instance, this building has a loss and you have to rent another location while this building's being rebuilt or refurbished, you have up to $1 million on the extra expense. And then we have 50,000 on sewer, or I'm sorry, not sewer, but water backup. The equipment breakdown is included in that limit, and that would cover, example, maybe a compressor for your HVAC system here in the building, brakes, maybe through electrical arcing. It would pay to have the piece of equipment repaired or replaced, as long as it's not due to lack of maintenance. And but that would cover all the equipment, maybe water pumps or pumps that are out in the other village properties. The EDP, which is the computer equipment, that covers the computers for the village and data. And as I mentioned, that did increase by $2,601, and the deductible on that's $5,000. Are there any questions regarding the property?
Yes, I have one question. When we talk about equipment coverage and, is there like a useful life scale for a piece of equipment, or is it just covered forever? I mean, like you mentioned, a compressor.
Yeah, so what wouldn't be covered is wear and tear and breakage due to non-maintenance. But if it's a maintained piece of equipment and it breaks, it would be covered. I can, as for the age of the equipment, I don't think, and I will look into policy tomorrow, but I don't believe that there is a specific, age limitation. Okay. But I will confirm that.
Thank you.
The inland marine coverage is the next section, and that inland marine is your equipment that is not licensed for road use, but used bulldozer. Well, I don't think you have any bulldozers, but equipment that is used by the grounds crew, the maintenance crew, road department that would leave the building. That is what that would cover, and its list of equipment is not in the proposal, but I believe, Nikki, you probably should have, you have the list of equipment.
I should,
Or we
yeah.
updated it, but it's not, they didn't include the list in the proposal, and we can, I can have it emailed, or Nikki can, provide it.
Do you have it close, Nikki? Like, is it something you'd be able to grab right now or no?
Probably in an email from Joyce, no?
Yeah,
I
and
can
I
go
can,
look.
Take a look, real. I mean, if you can't, I get it. We're
Yep,
good.
I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah.
It's listed on page 12, but it doesn't list,
it doesn't list the specific
Yeah.
equipment though.
yes.
So it'd be anything basically that isn't licensed. But I
That's
mean,
right.
that, isn't that how they
That's
put it?
correct.
Like a dump truck is licensed, but a backhoe isn't. A
Correct.
chipper isn't licensed.
A mower, it would be on the road, but it's still not licensed. in
Anything
most
that
cases.
isn't licensed. Okay, so the
Correct.
trucks wouldn't be, they'd fall under,
The auto coverage,
okay.
correct.
You can keep.
Okay. And it also includes rented and borrowed equipment that the village may, if you rent equipment from an equipment rental, it would also cover that.
Okay.
The next coverage is the crime coverage, employee dishonesty coverage. the same limits as last year. And it includes 100,000 for employee dishonesty, 100,000 for forgery and alteration, theft of money and securities and outside the premises, as you can see. Also computer fraud, crime that creates a financial loss or illegal fund transfer. And in certain circumstances, such as computer fraud, you also, in addition to the crime policy, there's a cyber liability policy you have in place that expires at a different date, which would cover you would cover certain aspects of crime. For instance, I'll give you an example of a recent claim that we had an insured that built a it was a municipality that built additional outside area at the main hall, and when it came time for the builder to submit his invoice, that same day they got an email from the builder, asking him to transfer money to their account for the bill, and they did, and it was in that example, it would be a cyber crime where they did pay and found out that it didn't go to the builder's account. That's where we see a lot of, most recently, the largest percentage of claims is coming in with the cyber exposure. And you have a policy that renewed, I believe,
We just renewed it.
just renewed it last month. We renewed it. And the deductible for the crime is $100. It's lower than the property deductible. And also it's lower than in the marine deductible. The general liability section, which is the next, we have a $1 million limit per occurrence with a $3 million aggregate. And in addition to the general liability policy, abuse and molestation coverage is included in general liability. And we'll mention at the end of this summary, in addition to the $1 million per occurrence, you buy a $10 million umbrella. So the village actually has $11 million worth of coverage for any one occurrence. The next coverage is the employee overhead liability. That would cover, you have a $1 million limit on that. That would cover things, and simplest would cover things that fall through workers' compensation net. So it would be for your employees. And the limit you have on that is $1 million.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah. Yes.
That bodily injury for the employees you're talking about, that's if, to give to them if they got injured, or
No.
you would have to sue the village?
Yeah, so what this would cover is, it's a workers' comp type of coverage. And here in Ohio, workers' comp is provided through state. But there's certain things that are not covered or excluded under workers' comp. Thank you.
Is that the equipment schedule?
Good, 75. I believe that adds up. Sure, if you want to.
Yep. I
Yeah,
think
well,
I
this
have-
is mine, okay. So example would be,
Thank you.
your gross negligence is something that's not covered. If you get sued for that, that's not going to be covered for under the workers' comp. An example, you put an employee out in a vehicle that you know has brake problems. And they tell you that it has brake problems, but you continue using that vehicle and the employee is injured. Well, a circumstance like that, they could sue. You would have coverage for that, and there would be for the employees' bodily injury. Up to $1 million. And the equipment schedule was just handed out. So it lists the equipment that we have specifically scheduled. In addition, there is $25,000 in coverage for unscheduled equipment, small tools, things under $5,000, maybe an air compressor valued at $1,000, $2,000. That wouldn't be scheduled, but there would be coverage. Or the maintenance building burns down and the equipment, the tools, wrenches, hammers, smaller items would be covered under that $25,000. And then unscheduled equipment owned by others, that would be borrowing a piece of equipment from another municipality. And then also would include lease and borrow. So or rent it, if you rent a piece of equipment, there would be coverage for that. The next item on the summary would be law enforcement liability. It's $1 million per occurrence with a $2 million aggregate. And then in addition, you have the $10 million that goes over this in the umbrella to increase it to a total of $11 million. And then the public entity management liability, that's public officials liability. That's coverage for you all up there if you get sued for your work here on the council. You have $1 million per occurrence, and again, $10 million above that for any one occurrence. The next coverage, employment practices liability. This is hiring, firing, is sued for hiring, firing issues, discrimination, things like that. You have $1 million limit with a $10 million above it, so it's a total of $11 million. And one thing that I would like to point out is here on the summary, defense is outside the limits. So if you get sued and they spend $1 million defending, well, that is not included in the total limit to pay out if a judgment is made. The auto liability is the next coverage. We have $1 million limit, and we have deductibles of $2,500 on the comprehensive and collision coverage. The vehicles, we have 30 vehicles insured, and I believe that, or actually I know it's 2 down from last year. We had 32 last year, and currently have 30. And the final coverage, which I've already mentioned, is the umbrella coverage, and this is all through Travelers Insurance Company, all this entire summary and the renewal. And as I had mentioned, it's a $10,000 limit for the umbrella, which goes over the underlying liability. Auto liability, public officials, law, general liability, employment practices, and the employee benefits liability.
John, to back up to the employment-related practices,
Yes.
that deductible of $10,000, wasn't our deductible higher before? I know it was with our insured before Travelers, isn't that correct?
I believe
I thought
it
it
is.
was 50,000.
Yes, I believe it is, and it got lower, but let me double check here if I have it.
I hope we don't have to use it, but I'm happy to see that it's.
I think I wrote it. Yeah, well, it's currently at 10,000, but you're correct. I'm almost positive it was at, it was substantially higher before. And,
Yes.
but I believe they lowered it, last year.
Yeah, that's good. No, that's,
And it was, well, when we moved from HCC, it is actually when it got lowered. HCC increased the deductibles on several several coverage items. Employment practices was one of them, and I believe it was 50,000. Is that what you were? I believe
that
it
rings a
was.
bell in us,
Yeah.
yes.
So when we moved it to travelers, we were able to get them to lower the deductibles substantially on several of the coverages: property, the employment practices, public officials, and the law. I think we're all at 50, and I'll confirm that for you.
No, that's fine. We're glad to see it's at 10. Hopefully, I don't, you never know.
Yeah, over the last 3 years, the losses of frequency, we've only had one claim. It was a auto liability
Right.
claim, and that is still open. We think it's gonna close at where it's reserved, or maybe even lower, but in a situation that you never know until it's finalized, but that's what the adjuster is feeling, that it's gonna close at that amount or even lower. So the Ohio plan, as I'd mentioned, came out and they did an inspection, and the inspection went well. There was no glaring or negative items. I haven't received the report yet. I've discussed it with them, but haven't received it. When I do, I'll share it with you
Right, and then I can share it with,
and share it with
Counsel.
everybody.
yeah.
But it's a positive report. They won't send it directly to you because you're not, not one of their clients, but they'll share it with me, and then I'll share it with you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what, just so everybody knows, what put us behind and why we're having a special meeting. At first, you didn't think they were going to quote, then they decided to quote, but they wanted to send.
That's
They
right.
sent out a person to review. They spent the whole, was it 1 day or 2 days? One day here, the whole, yeah, with Rob, the chief.
Yeah, it was a positive, it was a positive, inspection. It's, I think that when it went up to higher ups, they just they wanted to wait another year. But in the meantime, we were able to get Liberty to come off where their original renewal price was from your first meeting, substantially. Are there any other questions that you have, or specifics that you'd like to go over?
Oh, go ahead.
Mayor Colgraf, yes, I have a question. It's a general question. When you
Sure.
talk about claims and them closing, that's the same as settled?
Yes,
paid,
settle, I'm sorry,
settle.
correct, I'm
Okay.
speaking insurance.
Okay, that's
Close,
fine.
they settle it,
Okay,
once it's fully settled and signed off on, then they close the claim
okay.
For the village on the loss history.
And then once that claim is closed, is there a period of time where those closed claims are still on the record, so to speak, or in the
Well,
part of an evaluation of risk?
Yes, so what's typical for an insurance company is to go back 5 years.
Okay.
From, the time of the renewal. So for now, it would go 5 years previous, including the current year policy. So that would get us to 2021 and forward. And I didn't bring the loss history with me. There were several losses prior. I think there was a zoning claim, and there was a couple others that I believe have been closed, and that really changed the look of your loss history. I mean, there isn't a frequency. It just happened there was that zoning claim, and I think there was a couple of police professional claims, but they've closed, and over the last 3 years, it's been very good, except for the one auto claim. That's why you have insurance.
Thank you.
So, and I'm sorry, it just said, so they're looking at those last 2 years of 21 to 22 and 22 to 23. There were some claims there, and next year, that 2021 year will fall off. And they'll be looking at 22 forward, and it's a good outlook.
Good. Any questions? Any other more questions for Mr. Lowe? So John, and then we'll pass, if council passes the legislation tonight, then we'll get it over to you, and you'll have plenty of time. I mean, you'll, not plenty of time, but
We'll
you have
a copy.
tomorrow.
Well, it just takes, request by the village, and it's bound. And so, I appreciate your time, and if there's any additional questions, I'm available, and do whatever I can to answer them.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Lowe, thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
And you're welcome to stay, but you don't need to.
Well,
I always tell everybody that.
I'll stay if anybody has questions.
No, we're just gonna go over some finance stuff, that's all. We're good.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, John.
Thank
You
you.
got my cell phone, if there are questions, come up.
Okay, very good,
Thanks.
thank you. So I just, good night. Nikki, just kind of, we talked a little bit, and John already kind of touched on it, where we were at last year with it. We budgeted, you wanna just go over what we budgeted, and what we budgeted for was for casualty for this policy plus our cyber, and touch base on where we came with that, so everybody kind of knows.
So we budgeted 150,000, with this premium and our cyber insurance and my bond, we're gonna end up, $5,400 over budgeted.
Over.
So that'll be a savings for us.
Could you say that again? You're gonna end up where now?
$5,412 over budgeted, so we'll be saving
Over
money.
budgeted, so
Yes,
under,
under our
Under,
budget.
the
yeah.
expenditures will be 5,000 under what was budgeted.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's good. That's good, did a good job there. So at this time, I'd like to ask somebody to introduce the legislation for suspension,
Mr. Mayor,
if everybody's good with that.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to thank you. I'd like to introduce Resolution 2026-12, Casualty Insurance for suspension, a resolution authorizing the mayor and the clerk of the Village of Walton Hills to enter into an agreement with Travelers through the Love Insurance Agency for a municipal package insurance program effective March 31, 2026 through March 31, 2027, and declaring an emergency.
Second.
Second on the suspension. Vote on the suspension.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to ask for adoption of Resolution 2026-12.
Second.
Vote on the adoption.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Okay. Resolution 2026-12, our casualty insurance renewal passed, 5-0. Thank you, everybody. Okay, I just have a couple things, if anybody else has anything, that's why I put it, usually we don't put it on here, but for some reason, April's gonna be a busy month. So I just kinda wanna give you what's coming forward, the next couple COW meetings. Todd Toaz is, he's on the planning commission, his term did expire. I think it expired, I missed it, 2/26. But we're still good within the 45 days. But he served one term. He started in 2020, okay? So I would like to reappoint him for a second term. I know we don't want to go beyond that, but I'd like to reappoint him for his second term if everybody's okay with that. I did call him and mention to him that I was going to see, let council know that I'd like to reappoint Todd. He's done a great job and he brings a lot to the planning commission. He's got many years of a construction background. He's right in the midst of, you know, what we've done with the corner up there. I think he's familiar with the project, and that project's far from being done, and I think we're gonna have a great year with that. So I'd really like to retain him. Everybody's good with that. With that said, I could either have a special council meeting the 4th or wait to the, not the 4th, the 7th, or wait to the 14th, because Joe's asking us to have a special council meeting on the 14th. Joe would like to come to the COW meeting next week, a week from tomorrow, the 7th, to talk about the sidewalk, the ODOT legislation that needs to be passed. That's another thing that they just rolled out to them. It's just moving kind of fast there. Me, Nikki, and Joe met here, a couple weeks ago or whatever, and went over the project real well. And financially, the project's going to come in very good. Doesn't look like there's going to be much out of pocket. Because we're going to use some of the TIF money. Okay,
Yeah.
correct?
Most of it,
And that project's gonna go well. He's gonna go over with the committee too, you know, and council. So he would like to come here, and talk about that. But I think he'll be really happy with, him and Nikki worked on it, and I went over it with him too. And it's good. Joe got pretty creative in a lot of things, and then we'll let him explain it. He'll explain it well, and I think he'll be happy. So we're gonna use some of that TIF money for different things there, and we're not gonna see a big out-of-pocket for that, and it's gonna be a good project. So those are, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, go ahead.
Would that mean a special council meeting on April 14th? Because Joe only mentioned the public hearing.
Right, we would have a special council meeting. That's for this. That's different. That's for the CDBG program for
Right.
that.
But that's just an open
Right.
public hearing, so we don't have to have the special council meeting.
No, but this is for the ODOT legislation. We'd have the special council meeting
Oh, okay.
for the sidewalk.
Okay.
Yeah, those are two, I know, all these projects Joe's got going, and Rob is keeping them straight. But yeah, so it's a combination. That's what I'm saying. There's between this just came out, which we're really happy about. They just announced this funding, okay? Joe and myself, we just got this, and so, but we're happy, because we got time to get it in and get some more grant money, so it's all good. So Joe will be here on April 7th to talk about that. He can talk about this also too. He kind of explains this. I told him we were gonna pass it out. And that's that. And then the Lake Club renewal, you know, we budgeted for the Lake Club, but they come every year, or they'll meet with me and they'll come and, you know, they'll give us the financial, and just if anybody has any questions, and we have legislation for that too. So that legislation will be on next COW meeting, and that doesn't have to be for suspension or anything. We can do that in a regular council meeting, okay? And we always do it in April, and then, if it goes through, we issue them a check in May. And everything's the same in that. The only thing's different is they're gonna add that August 8th date, you know, for our 75th. So Mary Bosch was gonna come on, talk to her today, and Jeff. She'd like to come next week on the 7th too. but she wouldn't be as long. Joe's gonna be a little bit longer, but, I don't think Mary will be real long, unless you guys have questions. But, so that's really it. How does everybody, and we can talk or whatever with Todd. I was thinking, since we're having a special council meeting on the 14th for Joe, just put Todd's renewal off to the 14th, you know, his legislation off to the 14th. Why have, you know, 3 meetings? I don't see us, Ray, having any meeting in between if we were, because there was some discussion on that. And in fact, Rob's gonna be on vacation starting Wednesday. If I foreseen a meeting thing, but I don't see a planning commission. We have nothing on the books right now. Yeah.
So Mayor Colgrass, speaking of 3 meetings, if we have a special council meeting on the 14th, would there be a need to have a regular meeting on the 21st?
Well, we can talk about it, it would just depend. The 21st, I was gonna put the Lake Club on. You know, but depending how you felt, we could put it on the 14th instead of the 21st.
We would have to move the public hearing up then to the 7th.
Oh, yeah, we have the public hearing, that's a good point. We do have the public hearing on the 21st.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And I think we have to have the public hearing that date, because I think we need a 2-week window. Remember, we went through that before. I think it has to be posted for 2 weeks. I'll talk to Joe about that, but he did say something to me about that today.
Yeah, well, he has it in the note here, 7 days between
Yeah.
advertising and the public hearing, and then another 7 days between
there
the
you
public
go.
hearing.
Yeah.
But that's why I said if you moved it up to the 7th, you know, then you'd still be in compliance.
Oh, you mean, yeah, we moved it up. Oh, let me talk to Joe. I can see. And we'll look, do we have anything else, Nikki, that's? The only other thing, in fact, I just was talking to Lisa and Rob, and I already mentioned to Rob, Lisa was gonna get back to me. We did renew our salt with the consortium in April. I don't know if he said he's gonna check to see if he got anything from them.
I spoke with Lisa last
Oh,
week,
okay, good.
and she hasn't gotten anything yet,
Okay.
but I think it always comes really last minute. But I think we have the legislation on, if I look. We just don't get the actual information from them until later in April.
Is that just for us to go with, let's take a look at the legislation. I can't remember if there was amounts in there, or is that just okaying us to go with the consortium?
Last year, there was no amounts.
So it was just us
Yeah.
going, well, then that's a no-brainer, then we could always put that one, just put it on there then, if we're not waiting for anything. Okay, well, let's talk to Joe a little bit and see. Is that what you'd like to do, is if we could shorten one meeting, is that kind of the consensus?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense. We don't need to have a meeting just to have a meeting. All right, well, let's talk to Joe about his memo. About moving everything up. Would you like Todd to be here? Todd asked me that. He says, Mayor, if the committee, the council, okay, but that's just like everybody that always involved, they always are good that way, and he did ask that, so, okay. So we don't need him. Talking about moving meeting up. All right, that's all I have, for right now. If anybody has anything else that they want to add or anything?
I have just a question.
Yeah.
talking about with Love Insurance and everything and that inland marine, is that something that we would consider the new chipper instead of 300,000 out of pocket?
Well, I don't think they're gonna pay for it, they're gonna pay if it, right, we could see, yeah, we can have it, see, is it broken, or, I don't think they're gonna replace it because of age, do they? I mean, but they might replace it if it needs.
Yeah,
That's
I-
what Ray was asking.
That's
That's
what,
what Ray was
just
asking.
curious, we've
Yeah.
been paying the insurance on it,
Yeah,
you know,
that's not a problem,
They would
that's
take-
what we have John Love for.
yeah, we would,
He'll tell us and submit the claim.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet there's a proration of some sort.
That's what, when you were asking it, I meant to say, yeah, I can't believe there isn't, I mean, they
Right.
prorate everything. You know, I can't believe that you're gonna be able to,
Take a 20-year
But
piece of equipment.
hey, let's ask,
but the
Yeah.
older equipment lasts a lot longer than the newer equipment does.
yeah, let's,
Hear that, that's for sure.
in fact, I'll be talking to, Rob tomorrow, so I will ask Rob that.
Well, Mayor,
Or, rather,
Colograd,
the leafer is what was 300,000.
Correct.
yeah, one of the reasons I asked that question is because I thought recently, we experienced some,
Problems with the generator.
end compressor or something over next door last year or something like that? With the HVAC, was.
Oh, the condenser.
Condenser.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why I asked that question, because I know we had some recent equipment, you know, breakdowns.
and but that's all good stuff, because also is, do we claim that?
Is it worth it? Yes.
Or is it gonna throw our premium, I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah.
you know, I mean, but that's,
You're gonna
Bring
pay
them
him
right
for
back
it.
up to
That's-
the claim.
Yeah, it's only 300,000 compared to some of the other stuff, and for us right now, that is a huge chunk of money.
as long as it doesn't make our
Well, they
premium
claim they
Right.
next
did.
year,
No
and now we just defeated even getting somebody else to bid on it, but that's something he would answer.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I'll ask, we'll let, Nikki, we can inquire on that.
Yeah, and again, that was.
You guys don't want me to call him now about it, do you? Okay.
No,
I was-
that was on the leafer.
Yeah, I just, but I did think, you know, because when he brought that up, I was thinking about, you know, when we had the transformer went here,
Mhm.
then we had problems with the generator, you know, that one, you know, sometimes that might have been, but then it's, you know, what, the deductible, and, but those are questions we ask, that's why we have Mr. Love too. I'm glad we got we did, not so good with healthcare, just touch base real quick with it, cause, is Carol coming? That's what we wanted. Carol's gonna,
They sent some information today and they said they'll get back with us, so I'm waiting to hear back from them.
okay, so we met with, Carol and Mike from, Oswald, and that premium went up, you don't even wanna know, 32%, from last year. And they'll share that, but it's not, you know, we're gonna have to probably, you know, we'll have to see, that 32% comes out to $175,000 increase on
You
that.
expect people to pay that, just right
Okay,
off.
yeah. Now, what we did, it's a good thing, just so you know, it's a good thing, we didn't budget enough, but we did budget for a 20% increase, because what you put in the budget is 20% over, not that we want to pay, pay that, but I'm just saying for what we budgeted. Because Mike, what the market was showing that municipalities were getting large renewals last year. So that's why, when we asked, he recommended putting 20%, okay? But we went over a lot of different ideas, different plans, and, and they took that to market too, they took our plan to market.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
what about they had talked last year about us being in a consortium with other municipalities.
Yeah, that, I don't think, he talked a little bit like, thing that it was higher, but she'll talk about all that. And why it is, because we fall in the highest class, we're that 50 and under or whatever. You know, the same thing you've heard before. But I don't want you to feel, Carol felt, and Nikki, after we were done talking and they laid out some different ideas, there's some ways, maybe raising the deductible, which really doesn't affect the employees like you think. And they'll explain all that and different things, whether we go with Cigna, Anthem, you know, stick with them or whatever. They got some ideas to get us a lot closer and not see that large of an increase. Okay, so, and it's like anything, sometimes we might have to do it and then next year might be different. We have, you know, some claims on there that raise it. Some, it's not just, they just didn't raise it for the cost of living. There's reasons why, and they'll explain all that. You know. But I think we're gonna get it, I mean, gosh, I don't, you know, typically we've seen 7 to 10%. Okay, so.
Yeah, Mayor Colgrove.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna ask a question, you kinda touched on it. Whether the increase, the projected increase was just market-based, or there were also some other factors, and you mentioned potential, or you mentioned claims. Not to get into details in that, but I am gonna ask that, is it possible for council to have the detailed information before their presentation, when they come to give us a presentation, so we'll have time to
And here's
look at that
the
information?
thing, they can't, they don't even get those specifics. And what's the reason again, Nikki? Because of our size or whatever it is? They don't get those specifics. They got some of it, like they can tell us what, but we don't even know who.
That's
Not that it
fine.
matters, not that that matters, or even what, it's very general, but they have it, yes. They'll give you everything they can, what they gave us, yeah. Whatever, you know. Carol and Mike are very good. Carol does I feel very confident in Oswald. Well, Oswald represents, the good thing is, they represent most of the municipalities in Concord County. So this is their thing, is ensuring municipalities healthcare wise, along with other things, but this is, so. Let her talk about it. I just wanted to touch base on it. I almost had her come here, but she doesn't have enough, you know, to go over. So, but she has enough. She actually, I should have had her give her 5. I have 1. You guys can take it among yourselves or whatever, or we can, I don't know if we can make copies, but this kind of goes through, but this is gonna change. Let me see something.
She did send a little change today.
Did she? Is it, can you make copies of it maybe, or is it too early, or? I really want her to explain it, because when you look at this, I don't wanna make it, you know, let's see, what I did wanna show you is, or at least tell you. Here's the key cost drivers. Pass this down, take a quick look, and then we'll pass it this way. You don't have another one of those, do you? You have a, right?
I have a book.
Yeah, give me a book.
This one is the
So we can pass
way
it this
early
way.
on.
For this, you can look at everything, but it has the same question that Ray asked, at least you get a. We don't have this PDF, do we?
This is what they sent today. Notice summary here.
And just so you know, when you look at that, they do educate, you know, Mike comes here and he educates the employees and, you know, you can't tell people what to do, but you can try to educate them and hope, you know, but. Those are the key drivers there. Were you able to review what Carol sent me today or no?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
I took a little bit of a look, but not.
If anybody wants to take one of these, they can take one. Take mine if you want, it's clean. I know you got the stuff written on yours. Jennifer, if you want one as chairman or whatever, you can have one.
Yeah, that's okay, because I'm just gonna get mixed up with.
No,
you know.
it's almost, Carol will go through it, you know?
Right,
The reason we meet, because we were able to, you know, I always tell her, I said, we asked her, should we think, she goes, Mayor, why don't we just start so we know where you guys are at, if you feel, and you know, she knows where we're at, and I'm not happy about the increase at all, so that's why they're going further, and they aren't either. That's why there's, you know, comparisons. They gave us a lot of options that bring it closer, and we even went through more on doing it. I gave you that number because that number was taking exactly what we have today and them quoting the same thing with doing nothing, okay? But we can't do that.
Right.
Just can't.
Mayor Colbert,
Yes.
a question and a comment. What is the question is, what is the timeline towards renewal for this?
It's like May or whatever, it's the beginning of May.
5/1.
But it's not our fault, it's how it works.
Okay.
It's not like they put the time frame together and it's not like they wanted to meet in March and we didn't, not March, but before that, we didn't want to meet. They didn't get those renewals back because they wait
I get it.
till close to it.
Right. Well, there's still some time, so you mentioned about the options and just taking a quick peek at some of those key factors that are driving the costs, or look like there are some options in there.
Oh, there's a lot of options.
Lot of manageable options that, you know,
I thought.
can be done.
And I'm glad we're just kind of briefing this, because the nice thing, okay, I'm not, you know, I'm you guys, we have to keep costs down, but at the same time, we want to give our employees a competitive package too. We all realize that, okay? And then having Nikki and Melissa part of the conversation, they're two employees who carry the insurance and have the insurance. So they were able to give their perspective on some of the changes we went through, what they felt, not that they represent everybody, but at least there is an employee side there sitting with us too, who said, oh yeah, maybe that doesn't really affect us. That wouldn't bother me as much. And you know, there's a lot of things. I mean, you gotta remember, we're still, and Carol and them are gonna put, I don't wanna get into too much, because then rumors and all stuff get out, like, I don't mean from us, but people listening, you know, I asked her to compare us to other municipalities too. Because me sitting in this chair, I hear all the time, not all the time, but no different than you, that our insurance isn't good here, we pay more than most municipalities. And Carol, who represents, Oswald represents, says, there might be only maybe one municipality that theirs is richer than yours, Mayor. But people don't always know that. So she's going to have that and talk about, so the bad news was if we just renewed it, our existing, we can't do it, it's not good. But the good news is, I think we're gonna get to a good place that it will still be a good policy for the employees with, not a big change for them or a big cost increase, for them, plus lowering our premium that, is a lot more acceptable than a 32%. You know, our goal is to get it under the 20, because that's what we budgeted for, even lower, but, and there's some ways they've come up with that. Did I explain that pretty fair,
Mhm.
Nikki, about where they're at? So, and some of those examples are in here, and she'll go through over that, you know. So. Dental, the other stuff all stayed the same. There was just a small increase there, dental, vision, and life insurance and disability. That was a small increase, so that would, those would stay the same. And I'm not even saying we have to change carriers. We can stay with the same carrier, according to Carol, but we just might have to change the plan a little bit. And she's gonna give us a lot of options, because she understands that. Because $175,000, so, you know. But she knew that, and they have that in there, but they have to present it, because that's what we asked for. We asked for a renewal of ours, and then, shop it around, and that's what she did. So, let's see, who did she, just to kind of give you an idea, then we'll conclude. I don't mean to carry on, but let's see. She's not, who did we quote? That's our current Anthem renewal. And Signal is one. Marketing results, so they went to Anthem, Aetna, which is another big one, Cigna, and this is, I think, what you were mentioning, Jennifer, Ohio Health. I think Ohio Health might be the one that's, I think, so they went to, 4. She went to quoted out of 4 different insurance companies. Okay. With that, anybody else have anything? Otherwise, I'd like to ask for adjournment.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for adjournment.
Is there a second?
Second.
Vote on the motion.
Councilman Nielsen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kanzoni?
Yes.
Councilwoman Allen?
Yes.
Councilman Spitznagel?
Yes.
Councilman Whedon?
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Meeting adjourned at 6:32 p.m.
Mike's.